Hi, my name is Robert, and I live in San Diego, and I'm going to be talking about my teacher that in high school I was a sophomore, and the teacher I had him for two different classes. His name is Mr. Mumaw, and I had him for economics, and I had him for driver's education as well, which they were great. They're both great. The teacher was awesome. He was always so interesting while he was teaching. Even when he didn't say anything, it's just his facial expressions alone were hilarious. And he had nicknames for kids in the class, and they were appropriate and funny. And the kids that had the nicknames just rolled with it, and they weren't offended at all. So Mr. Mumaw, good old Mr. Mumaw, is a good guy. My sister and my older sister and brother had Mr. Mumaw before I did, and they recommended him. So of course I made sure to do my best to get into his classes, and I did. The one of the things that really stuck out in my mind was a driver's education class, and particularly the acronym SMOG, SMOG. And what it stood for was when you were going to make a lane change, S was signal, M stood for mirror, O standard for over the shoulder, and then G standard for go. So that was something that I remembered. This is more than 20 years ago now, so he was very effective. And also in driver's education, we watched this movie, Red Asphalt, and that was pretty brutal. Had a lot of actual car wrecks, people thrown from the car because they did not have a seatbelt on. Someone crashed because they were driving drunk. So that was I thought was a very effective tool and a good deterrent for young drivers to see, so that they would do their best to stay safe on the road. Which I think that class is definitely important, was important, and should be part of, should be an available elective again, as we see these young drivers these days are just, they don't have the skill. And I'm gonna say, because they didn't have a chance or opportunity to learn these things in high school, in an elective class. The other class that I had Mr. Mumaw for was economics, and the way that, that class to me just says boring written all over it, economics. But he made it fun, and he got me engaged by one of the things I remember him getting us to do was to have newspapers and to track a stock on the stock market. And so that made it much more meaningful to me, and kind of how things affect the economy and prices of goods and things like that. So Mr. Mumaw was a very, very effective teacher. He kept it fun all the time. Kept us engaged with these interesting projects. Driver's Ed, we had Red Asphalt with these movies that just were definite attention getters, and the students would talk about it long after the class was over. And whenever I get together with friends now, almost everybody that went to my high school knew Mr. Mumaw, whether you had him in the class or not. So all the things that Mr. Mumaw did to get kids engaged, I try to use for my own teaching, because he's a very effective teacher, and engaging. He definitely kept me interested, and others as well. So I want to thank Mr. Mumaw, and I hope he's doing well. I don't know if I haven't heard or spoken to him, of course, since after high school, but yeah, I want to just say thank you, Mr. Mumaw. Excellent job teaching. Very good example and role model. Thank you for your time.